if you want to save your changes to the repository, you need to use the commit command, and it is kind of the most important command in Git. So in this video, I'll show you how to commit in Git. Commits are snapshots of your project after you've reviewed your changes in the staging area and chose which of the changes you want in the next commit. So a commit will save all of your state changes to the Git repository locally, so you can push the changes to a Git server like GitHub later. Or in another word, the commit command will copy the changed file in the staging area to the Git repository. And remember that by committing files to the Git repository, we don't move them from the staging area, we just copy them to the Git repository, so we can access them later whenever we need. And the commits will remain in the Git repository locally until we push them to somewhere else like GitHub, and because they're locally stored, we can easily use them later. For example, if you screwed up a project but you have a snapshot of that project in the Git repository before screwing things up, you can easily go back to that snapshot and start over. Okay, let's make a directory and add some changes so we can commit them. So cd/temp to change the directory path to the /temp directory. I'm gonna make my directory there, but you can choose whatever directory you want. Then make directory test to create the directory, cd test to go to that directory, then git -b main to make it a Git directory. Then we can create a file. So echo hello world to hello.txt. Now if I check the status, so git status, there's an untracked file here named hello.txt. Now we need to choose what we want in the next commit using the add command. I want the whole changes in the hello file, so git add hello.txt. Okay, now if I check the status again, so git status, we've added the hello file. First, we chose the changes we wanted in the next commit. Now we can commit them, so git commit. This command will copy the file we've changed in the staging area, which is hello.txt, to the Git repository. But it's not as simple as that, because it's not only gonna save your changes, it will save your files along with some metadata like a unique ID for that commit, the order of that commit, the time the commit is created, etc. So before committing, you should configure Git so Git will know who's gonna commit. To do that, you can check out the Git configuration video in the channel. I leave the link in the description below. Another thing that a commit has is a message about what this commit is about, what these changes will add to the project. And usually people use the M flag for their commit messages, like git commit -m message. Or we can remove the M flag and just hit enter, git commit. Now as you see, if we don't use the M option, Git will open your default editor and it's telling us that lines starting with a hash sign will be ignored. And if we don't put anything here, the commit operation will be aborted. So let's just close this. We'll talk about this later. And as you see, it's aborted due to the empty commit message. Now to commit it, type git commit -m initial commit. Now if I check the status, so git status, as you see, we have a clean working tree. Now to check the commits, or in other words, Git repository or the history of our project, we use git -nopager log. -nopager to prevent opening the output of the command in a new page. And as you see, we have a commit hash here, and this commit is what the head is pointing to for now. The name and email of the commit author, which is me, and the date we've created this commit. Okay, now let's add another change to the file. So echo change number 1 to hello.txt. Okay, git status. As you see, the whole file is modified. You can skip adding the changes to the staging area and directly commit your changes using the A flag. Look, git commit -a -m change 1 added. Or simply combine them like git commit -am change 1 added, which A stands for all, and remember that with the A flag you can only skip the add command for the files that are already tracked. So for example, if you add a new file here, you can't use git commit -a for that. So you need to at least use one git add command for each file. There's nothing wrong with skipping the staging area and add your changes directly to the git repository, but it's not recommended. It's always better to check what will be in the next commit before committing. The second thing that you need to be careful about is your commit message. As you see here, a good commit message should be like this, and this is written by Linus Torvalds, the creator of both the Linux kernel and Git. You can find its link in the description. So the commit message has a header or a subject line and an optional body. In the header part, you need to explain the commit in one line, explain what this change will add to the project in one line. And it's highly recommended to use the imperative form of verbs, like change instead of changes or changed, and you must use only 50 characters or less in the headline of the commit message. The body part is optional, but it's recommended to use it, especially if you're adding important changes to the repository. It can be in several paragraphs, and each line column must be shorter than 74 characters. That way Git log will show things nicely even when it's indented. And at the bottom you can add a footer here. You can tag a person or point to a GitHub issue. So to find out what's the best way to write a commit message, you can look at big open source repositories on GitHub and see their commits. Repositories like React, Angular, Flutter, etc. And what I personally like and have seen in the biggest projects in GitHub is something like this or this. You type git commit without the m parameter, then you use this template, or you can put another m parameter like git commit -m header -m body. First m for the header and the second for the body. But usually people use the commit command without the m parameter to write the body part. And usually if you're working with a team, you should follow the commit convention defined by your team. You can even create a global commit message template on your machine like this. Git config --global commit.template and the path to your global template like /git message, which is in my home directory. Okay, so if I do a git -no pager log, here as you see, our last commit isn't really following any of those rules, so there's a way that we can fix that. If you didn't push your last commit to a remote repository yet, so it is only available to you, you can use the amend option to change the last commit instead of making a new commit just to fix something like a typo, or in our case to make the commit message a bit better. This option writes the very last commit with your state changes, and you can also change the message, other, and the date of that commit. To change more than the last commit, you need to use other commands like git reset or git rebase, which we'll talk about them in the future videos. Okay, this is how we use the amend option with the git commit command. Git commit --amend. This will write the last commit with the changes we have in the staging area. We don't have any changes in the staging area, so none of the files in the last commit will change. With -a, we can skip the staging area and add the modified or deleted files directly to the repository. With -m, we can change the commit message. If you don't use -m here, it will open your default editor for you to change the commit message, just like a normal commit operation. To prevent that, we can use the --no option. So this way it will only check for staged files or other options, not the commit message. With dash dash other, you can change the other of the commit, like git commit dash dash amend dash dash other equals john@email.com. Or we can change the date, like git commit dash dash amend dash dash date and a random date. And for the message, cause it's a dummy project and I will remove it after recording this video, so I'm not gonna write a body message and explain the changes or anything like that. So I'm just gonna fix the web form and capitalization. So git commit dash dash amend, but this time we can use the v option or verbose option, so Git will show us the actual changes we've made in the commit message. Okay, add change 1 seems fine, and git dash dash no pager log. Okay, now it's better. Okay, that was it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.